Damn it. I was talking like an idiot for half an hour. Just talking to myself for half an hour. Yeah, now I'm live. Stupid goddamn internet. I hate the university internet. It's like having to live with rent here at the university and having to use their crappy internet. I am furious. And I really don't even know what to say. I'm just so upset. It keeps happening and it's crappy internet here, and we cannot get another company as a supplier. We would have to move to live in another place, and there's no guarantee that we'll have good internet there either, because the internet in the US is generally crap, utter garbage. I'm so angry. Did I say I'm angry? I'm gonna say it again. Is it working now at least? Is it working now? Seems to be working. I wonder if Alexi is still watching. Probably not. She probably thought I closed the stream and she left, which sucks because she rarely ever can come to my streams. She usually doesn't have electricity, not to mention internet. And I want to talk to her to see how she's doing, if she's okay, because it's always hard to get hold of her. And I was talking to myself like an idiot for God knows how long. So upset. I hate the internet here. Maybe someday, sometime in a distant future, I'll have proper internet access. And I'll have more room. How did I notice that I was offline? Because I checked it. I know it crashes, the goddamn thing crashes, so she wasn't answering my questions, so I thought maybe she went offline, and then I looked and I was offline. So angry. So I guess one way to know if I'm still online or offline is ask questions, I guess. And if I see that people are not answering, it's a pretty good chance that my OBS has crashed again. I wrote you a comment in the previous video hoping you were going to see it. No, I didn't get to that part. I hope it doesn't split it into two. It's so annoying when it does that. It's supposed to be one stream. But I'm surprised like the chat wasn't working either and wasn't coming up in the chat. But I guess if the stream's offline for long enough, it doesn't show up in the chat anymore. Like it's half an hour. So I've been talking to myself for half an hour. Damn it. Yeah, I don't know if I'll have like room on my desk sometime when I live somewhere else. I want to have two screens and I'll keep one um with the chats open and also Facebook and other stuff, so if I go offline again it will tell one of you guys can tell me, hey doofus, you're offline again, your internet or computer or whatever crashed. Que sera sera or something like that. But anyway, how are you, Anna? How's it going? I should probably stop rambling and complaining about my crappy internet, because I can't change that anyway. Beard is kind of weird, is coming over his face here. I should probably change that. Today I started again the new season of manga lessons. Oh, cool. My book came, the other one, Understanding Comics, and it was previously owned by some Chinese person that just butchered the book. Like, how can you mistreat a book so badly? Why did you hate it? It had like gum and hair on it, and all the pages were bent. Sure gave that person a bad review on eBay, but I don't think that will help anybody. It said the book was in good condition. If that's good condition, I don't want to know what bad condition is. Yeah, bent pages, like it underlined some things and it wrote, like the guy in the book, the author, Scott McCloud, wrote on the top of the page what a definition is, and then he gave kind of a summary in the lower part of the definition, and the previous owner underlined the summary and wrote definition. Like, do you not know the English language and what definition means? It's more than two words. Hammer, definition of hammer is not tool. I'm like, it's so annoying. It's always annoying to have a book from somebody else who's stupid and writes dumb things in it. I used to have these problems with books from school, you know. Somebody else had them and they like don't understand what's written in there and they write dumb things. And then I have to read their dumb things because they're there, right there. You can't help but ignore and see them and Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because Japanese people, and sorry, Chinese people, but Japanese people have the same problem as well. Um, Everything is translated for them, and I think in China it's even worse because it's such a big country. They can be locked in their little bubble and never need to know another language. Because they do have like one of the language Chinese, I think Han is the official one. I mean, a lot of the Chinese people are bilingual anyway, so I think learning English is too much of a hassle for them. And really not that useful unless they are dealing with English or foreigners. And usually they don't have to deal with foreigners. I mean, I can understand why Chinese people don't know English. I don't know Chinese, and I can live just fine without knowing Chinese. But um, I guess I'm much more harsher with the Japanese. Like I don't see them having a valid excuse for not knowing another language. It's just always funny when they're not speaking it correctly or they don't understand some things. And for I think the funniest and like the biggest source of these is India, because they actually have to know English from school. It's one of their official languages. Honestly, I don't even think English is such a good language to be a international language, but it's the kind of the only one we got at the moment. French, I mean, would be Spanish, maybe. It's pretty used, but nowhere near as much as English. Z for Superman. Was it? A is for underpants. G is for Gebra. I found a page that kind of is the reverse of what I've been saying, in the sense that they're making fun of foreigners that can't speak Japanese properly, and they're trying to be like this. It's funny because there's usually companies, foreign companies that enter Japanese market, and they write advertisement for Japanese people, but they don't write properly in Japanese. It's not as funny when they have to explain to you what's wrong with it, because my grammar is not that good, and I learned kind of the official polite Japanese. I didn't learn anime Japanese, so there were a lot of things that I didn't know. Like for example, ore is like yo, not you, so it's not exactly the best way to write in as a company that takes itself seriously. They're not gonna write, yo, dude, your computer is virused. You need to fix it. So, I mean, after they explain it, I'm like, yeah, ha 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 ha, but it's kind of with a delay. It's much more fun if you're fluent in that language and then you kind of get the stuff. Am I still on? Am I still live? I seem to be live. I will write to Alexi on an email. I'll write her. Say I'm sorry. I did not mean to ditch her. Yeah. I want proper internet. I want a proper studio where I can put insulation on the walls, so if there's a train passing I don't hear it anymore. That would be nice. Not to have my stream interrupted by a train. It'd be so nice. I'd be happy. I like how June made her boobs saggy because she's old. I think that's a nice touch. I'm really happy that she can do a wide, varied set of characters. I've never liked it when in a cartoon all of the characters look the same, just that they have different hair color or something like that. It just looks weird. Why do all the people look the same? And since they're Asian, it kind of increases that stupid joke that all Asians look the same. Even their cartoons, they all look the same. It's not helping. And it's especially prevalent in animes. You get a lot more varied body types in European cartoons and now even in American ones. Although they tend to have this problem as well, where all of the Disney princesses look the same. All of the digital ones look the same. All of the 2D ones look the same. Just have a different haircut and face shape. It's the same. Well, it's a lot easier to differentiate an older looking characters because you have all of the wrinkles and you can just change those around. You have more freedom. I hate how some people in manga style draw old people. Ugh. Okay, I'm now live again. Why does this keep happening to me? OBS asked me before I started the stream if I want to update and I said yes, and now I regret it. I shouldn't have updated. Like, I don't know what's happening, if it's my internet. I know I have crappy internet, but OBS is just being awful as well. Damn you, OBS. Can you hear me now? Is everything working again? I think, I don't know, they're just afraid of drawing old people ugly, but um, let's face it, it's not considered that aesthetically pleasing to have a saggy face, and that's just stuff that happens with age. Is like nobody's fault. It's just part of normal life. But I don't know, they're just going for some absurd, abstract beauty standard. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are old people that look surprisingly good, and when you do a close-up, you realize, hey, they're old. But that's very rare, and they're usually old people magazine photo models. Like Sexy Santa Claus was on a cover magazine, and the dude is in his 40s and he was playing someone that's 70 or something like that. I think it was Sexy Santa advertising. Yeah, there he is. So this guy is in his 40s actually. He's not as old as he pretends to be. So he's in like 40s or 50s maximum, and he's playing somebody that's 70. And I mean, you can still see the wrinkles and all of that, but a lot of them are actually added in Photoshop, so it's the opposite. Anyway, it's just weird and cringy, like that's not how I picture a grandpa. But you know, whatever rocks your boat. I'm not judging too much. I guess old people like to be represented in um, sexy advertising, maybe? I don't know. I don't think I'll have that issue when I'm old. I'll just want to be retired and sleep in and maybe still be able to eat stuff and not have diabetes. Like, that's my old age goal. Not have too many medical healthcare bills. I hope I'm not asking for too much. I know some people don't like the idea of associating old age with decrepity, so they want to have hip and fun old people, not old people that sit by the fireplace like they're traditionally portrayed in advertising. And they like take issue when you say that old people are boring. I hope there will be more people like those. I think it's not the end of the world that you've become old. But generally they don't do as much anymore. Like, healthcare problems can get them depressed really quickly. I know how it was for my grandparents. Everything was bleak, everything was sad. It was never fun to visit them. Now, it kind of makes it more obvious that she has a wobbly eye. I'm gonna have to correct that. June gave her a wobbly eye. I don't know if it's called wobbly, but it's definitely not spherical. Now, Niels' dad is a pretty young dad, if I think about it. Oh, they're not dressed as anything. They're not celebrating Halloween. Like, these are boring parents, these are fun parents. Kind of that dichotomy. Um, so the girl's parents are both old in and out. I guess they kind of resemble my parents more. I don't remember my parents ever being fun or doing anything fun with them. Maybe they were fun, I don't know. Maybe they were fun when they were young. I mean, they let me do whatever I wanted. There wasn't that much of a interest in what I did. Picture with two old people and a pitchfork. um, close, yeah. I don't know how parents become boring and annoying and grumpy. Like, how does that happen? Are they born that way and then have kids? Or do they become that way? I'd be curious to find out. Like, how do they get that way? Yeah, so I kind of have here like three types of parents. So I have Niels's parents, which aren't great because they're divorced. I don't think it's ever fun for a kid to have divorced parents. And then you have these parents who hate each other but are still together out of inertia or social pressure, whatever reason they decided to stay together. Um, and then I also wanted to have like a good example, and I have Niels's cousins, and their parents are happy and fun. So I kind of have all three kind of types of parents. Grumpy, boring, and angry. Uh, Goofball, neglectful, and fun. You need money to divorce. Yeah. Uh, that's true. You're right. You're right. Actually, I have like these parents here. The story is gonna be that he lost his job. They fallen on hard times, and um, so that's why they move into Niels's neighborhood, because it's full of foreigners and it's poor. Like the rent is lower, so that's how they end up in Niels's neighborhood. Because his dad is not doing great financially since he divorced. And also he wants to pay for everything for Niels. Niels's mom is stinking rich, but he's gonna take care of Niels himself, and doesn't need her money. Of course, she still sends him a bunch of gifts, like all the robots, all the expensive stuff. He has them from his mom, and that's why he's spoiled in that regard. But yeah, you're definitely right. Divorcing is expensive. So I guess that's why they're still together. Even though they don't like each other. Yeah. And they have a kid, so. I've heard this, we're staying together for the child. And of course, nobody asks the child if he's thrilled of the idea, but parents know best. Okay, and Auntie here. It's all a bullshit. One of the two wants to get the pension of the other. uh, yeah, I guess it could be that. I have no idea. My parents are not divorced, and none of my friends' parents are divorced. Uh, they all stayed together and was like, yeah, it's for the child, but I guess it could be the pension or something like that. But Niels's family is definitely doing a lot better than other families. Like a lot of them are doctors, professors, business owners. It's like his whole family is doing good. And it's a lot easier to be happy if you have money. Set it to normal. And do the shading on the eyes. I really haven't thought of the ages of the parents, but I say the ones on the right are in their 50s and these guys are in their late 30s and early 40s. Okay, take care. I'm still gonna be here for another half an hour. So I've given Auntie some red contact lenses. And she's playing Kali, Goddess of Destruction. Error attempting to reconnect. Is it crashing again? What's happening here? Stream health seems to be okay, but my OBS is not working properly. Just my luck. No wonder I don't get any new subscriptions on OBS. I myself wouldn't subscribe to a channel that has such bad streaming. Well, at least the recordings should still work. Like people can watch it later on YouTube. So I guess I should say something interesting and smart now while I'm still recording. Oh, close the Steam. It's probably eating my bandwidth. Have Facebook open? No, I do not. Because that also eats the bandwidth. And I have some color that bled out. There we go. What's going on? Oh, it's the light from the advertising. Okay, I've closed it. Yep, there we go. Now I should be able to do the right color, because I can use the eyedropper properly. Opacity. And I got multiply here. on the uncle, and I think I'll finish with all the parents, and I still got some of the kids to do. Oh, and Marie, I have to do Marie as well. Welcome back. I've been wanting to do one of those quizzes like you did for your comic on Virili, but I don't want to use Virili. And I don't know what other alternatives do I have. I try to do on Google Docs, but it doesn't tell, you can't select which is the right answer and then give a reward at the end. You know, like there are those BuzzFeed quizzes where they tell you um, a result at the end, how many questions you got right and stuff like that, like you had on Virili. Uh, is there any website I can do that? Because I want to embed it in my WordPress blog. Yeah, just for interviews, but I would have liked it to be like Virili and to be embedded in the website. Can you embed something from Virili on a website? Because I don't want to take people to that website. I want them to stay on my website, on my blog page, whatever I decide to put it. I have to see if it's possible. Oh, so okay, you don't know. I was hoping you did. Do you have any way to check that? Because I remember you don't have a website. Yes, to be embedded in the blog page and give the results there. So, and I don't want to collect anybody's email. I don't have anything to do. I have no use for that. Don't need people's email. So I don't want it to be with a sign in option. Like I just want them to do the quiz and then publish it on in that page. You just press a button and it tells you what grade you got. I mean, I know how to do this. If I did like a little programming, HTML, I know how to do that, but I wanted to do it automatically because I want to add some pictures as well, and I don't want to do the coding and stuff like that. It's just too much hassle I don't want to deal with. I want to finish this quickly and have it on the website in case, anybody wants to try it out and have fun with it. If they like the comic pages, they can try out the quiz. And I'm gonna add some puzzles as well, and I want to embed those also in the blog. See if I can. If I not, I'll open a different window. But first I want to do the quizzes. And maybe have like a little quiz. What character from Niels Feynman are you? Or something silly like that. Are you a Marie or an Erwin? I'm thinking about those tests sometimes shared on Facebook. Yeah, they're from BuzzFeed, but they have it embedded on their website, and I want to do the same like them. But I don't know how they did that. Maybe I should ask June. She might know. Her boyfriend is a web developer, so he might know some plugin I can use. Because there are these plugins on WordPress that do this. The problem is that I have to pay to get the business version of my blog, and I don't want to pay. Short answer. So I'm hoping to find something that's gonna be cheap, free, sorry, not cheap, free, and easy to use, and just be quick, because I don't want to spend too much time on this. I've got more important stuff to do, but I just wanted to do this fun thing. I know some people enjoy quizzes, so I thought, hey, why not do this if I can do it quickly and easily. If I'm waiting for something to upload or render or stuff like that, I will go online and maybe watch a YouTube video, or I can do a quiz like this sometimes where I'm waiting for something to upload. Or download. Yep, so I gotta add the lighting. And it's gonna be a bit orangish. My pajamas, mere perfume now. What? What did you do? Put the sweater, use the 7 pajamas. Well, now they smell pretty, isn't that good? How am I gonna do with those quizzes? Still thinking with my brain. Sometimes I can do that. Well, at least I got most of the parents. There we go. Yep, I think it's pretty much all of them. I wouldn't put too much glossy stuff on. And I got the King in Yellow graffiti. I really like how this one turned out. I didn't expect it to look as nice because I'm very bad at graffiti. So I was expecting it to look horrible, and it turned out to look quite good, all things considered. Is it the Faunus Labyrinth? It's a combination of them. So the King in Yellow is from Chambers' story that got picked up by Lovecraft later on, and then I mixed it with Del Toro. And actually somebody else came with this idea on the internet. Let's see if I can find it again. There we go. Somebody did it, and it's on DeviantArt. And I thought it was a great combination of Del Toro and the King in Yellow. It's very fitting for Halloween. Like spooky. Cause the character of the King in Yellow, so he's like this cosmic entity that just is like Pennywise from Stephen King. He just likes to scare the bejesus out of people. Cause he's into that weird stuff. And I thought it would be really fitting to have him behind Irwin. As you can see here, it's like Irwin is basking in his evil glow. And of course Irwin is trying to scare the adults because he's an evil little kitty. And what scares grown-ups most nowadays? It's healthcare bills. And I mean, in the US here it's ridiculous, and it's pretty bad in the UK as well. I'm not familiar with all of the details, but it's not great. And funny enough, he's talking with Daenerys Targaryen, the breaker of chains, mother of dragons.